Men of Reddit, how often are you keeping your emotions in check so as not to appear as a black man? It's almost mandatory that you do this. If you show any feelings at all, you're gonna get called a punk and shamed for it. It's hard and has really affected me in a major way. Ain't it the truth? The only acceptable one is anger. I noticed that generally speaking my black friends grieve death way more intensely, but also that I found that my godfather, my uncle, and my cousin are far more emotionally intelligent and open than most of the other men I know. However, my uncle is originally from Jamaica, godfather from UK, and both are Canadian now. So maybe this is more particular to black people in the US and Africa? I mean, I also have a very tiny sample size of black men in my life, so maybe not. I keep my emotions in check constantly, not because it is unmanly, but because being a slave to your emotions makes one a completely useless individual. Further, not expressing is not the same as not having emotions. I have as many emotions as I please, I generally don't, and don't feel the need to express those emotions at the drop of a hat so that everyone can tell me how brave and strong and mature and comfortable I am with myself. There is nothing wrong with, nor shame in a man being stoic. How much has stoicism affected me? Alright, this is going to sound cringy, but I blame Disney movies for this, but I had a hard time feeling emotions until I found out what love actually was like. Then she died and now I felt another emotion, true depression. The only thing that keeps me alive every day is the hope for another experience like that, but hopefully absolutely relate to this. Most people I know see me as nothing but positivity, but it's also got to do with me being fairly good at dealing with my negative emotions. I keep my emotions in check. And it has nothing to do with appearing manly. I do it as the decent thing to do. Not spraying your emotional shit over everyone is the adult thing to do, and I expect it from everyone. Just like I expect from everyone to not spray your gut shit over everyone. And if you can do that, it means you are seriously ill and need special care and need to be kept away from others. And all that needed to happen for you must find females difficult. Not really. If they start spraying shit around me, I just walk away. Unless it's someone I care about, then I ask if they want help. I haven't cried in decades. Closest I came was the birth of my 2 healthy twin boys after a very tough pregnancy for my wife. My dad was tough. Men don't cry. My mom died when I was 11 and he scowled at me at the wake and the funeral when I cried. Later he said it was embarrassing. That night. Just buried my mom. 11 years old. So I don't cry, I don't think I remember how, to be honest. Fucking hell. That's brutal. Not much honestly, cause I am around people who actually care about individuals and not stereotypes. Well, I'm a total bitch in front of my friends. I've told them some of the trauma I've gone through, and they understand why I get upset so easily. I'm public, I try my best because it's often other males trying to fuck with me or fight. I need to keep the strong appearance so they stay away. Also just wanna say I hope you're having an amazing day. I keep every emotion locked up until I'm alone, then I release them all at once. Coming from your mom to be manly and her being your only parent. You think, man, my mom's had it worse. I can deal with this shit. Then you start smoking, not caring. Then starts the resentment. I worked 12 hours yesterday. I wanted to break down and cry the whole time. Still kept smiling and getting the job done. It starts to physically hurt after a while if I don't let it out. I just cry. Tears are manly as long as you don't sob or whimper and just let them stream down your face while you talk. It just makes whatever you're saying seem profound, like it's affecting you deeply. That's what an I'm taught me, anyway. Everyone needs emotional control. To make rational decisions, stabilize family relationships and work successfully with other people. People who feel the world needs to prioritize their emotions will be sadly disappointed. I don't repress them, in the sense that if I'm upset with someone I will let them know. I keep them in check with arguments though. I don't have any emotions aside from infrequent anger to keep in check. I believe that only a fool expresses all of their emotions, while one that is mature controls them. I control my emotions to the best of my ability, keep them in check, and when I do have the opportunity I express them in a way that is healthy and beneficial. For example, sharing common worries or concerns with my family and friends. I'm in touch with my emotions. There's nothing wrong or unhealthy about having emotions, so long as you are processing them in a healthy way. Repressing them is not healthy. What do you mean? I get there's the whole stigma about men needing to be stoic, but I mean I don't feel like I ever just go around thinking, her gotta be manly, gotta keep my emotions in check to stay manly. There's nothing wrong with not letting your emotions take control of you whether you're a man or woman, and people warping that stigma into some thought of needing to be hyper-emotional is ridiculous. Lately I am trying to find a balance, but I used to get angry at myself for my apparent weakness when I started to cry. This has led to some unsolved issues. Contrary to popular feminist assertions, 90% of the time that I am holding my emotions in check and not letting my true feelings show is around women, because from my experience, they're the ones who I found judge you the most for it. I actually had an ex-girlfriend tell me that she lost all respect for me when she saw me crying during Braveheart. I let my emotions out around my boys all the time. They're the Honestly, I am in the minority, and I feel totally comfortable when sharing my emotions. It's not healthy to keep that in, and honestly I just don't give a fuck what someone thinks about my manhood. Someone's opinion of it doesn't take it away from me. Ironically, I'm practically the opposite of what your question is asking, and it still affects me. I'm very open about sharing my emotions. I think it's healthy to not be afraid to share your emotions and understand that it's a normal part of life. Yet, being this open, as everyone has mentioned, it used to be pretty constant, not for fear of being less manly, but more just being judged in general. Thankfully I have people in my life that help me work on that, and I at least feel comfortable enough to have that outlet with them now. I believe in, value, and practice stoic ideals. Without it I have really bad anger issues and don't like being a slave to my emotions. Doesn't mean I don't process it or bury it somehow, though it does happen. Something could make me angry, but I'll rationalize it. You know how when you really take yourself out of a situation and really think about it? Sometimes you realize it's dumb as hell. I just happen to try and get to that point faster before I do anything stupid. I'm always angry and can be driven to blinding rage. But I'm in control for the most part. I don't know about less manly. I don't really care about that so much, but it is pretty true that no one actually wants to know or care about men's emotions. That is, people tell us to be open about our feelings, but when we actually do we get negative responses. People turn away from you if you are gloomy. So, you stop talking about it so as not to turn people off. It can be quite isolating. A very interesting post. I agree that from a sociological perspective that emotional repression is a cornerstone of the perpetuating existing power structures, and that challenging them is a core part of any progressive politics. On the other hand, I think that it would be a mistake to reject Stoicism out of hand. Stoicism proper, i.e. followers of Marcus Aurelius, is really about trying to find a way to deal with the suffering that abounds in the world. No matter if you agree or disagree with them, I don't think choosing to be a Stoic in this sense is at all oppressive. It's a life choice like becoming a nun or leaving your job to join the circus. It's a way to deal with the world. The key is to find where Stoicism has been used as an ideological justification for oppressive institutions, and what parts are insights into dealing with the suffering that we all face in the world. The opposite, in fact. I find that society promotes the idea of feminizing men far too much, and I actually think it's detrimental to men as a whole. Men tend to try and keep their emotions in check, not because they don't want to look weak in front of other men, but because being a slave to your emotions is idiotic anyway. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss a video. Like, comment and subscribe if you're new here. More great Reddit content coming soon.